Hello and welcome to our video, where we take a deep dive into the strange history of 5 of the most infamous serial killers in the world. In this video, we will explore their life stories, motives, and the crimes that made them infamous worldwide. Without further ado, let's get started. Ted Bundy, the charismatic killer. Ted Bundy's charming persona was, in fact, carefully crafted to win over his unsuspecting victims. He had a magnetic appeal that made it easy for him to strike up conversations with young women and gain their trust. He was a master manipulator who often pretended to be injured or in distress to lure his victims into his car. Once he had them under his control, he would take them to secluded areas to carry out his heinous acts. Bundy's intelligence also played a role in his crimes, as he was able to outsmart and elude law enforcement officials for years. Despite his gruesome actions, Bundy's charisma and intelligence continue to fascinate many, and his story remains a cautionary tale about the dangers of trusting strangers. However, behind his charming exterior lied a monster who brutally murdered over 30 women in the 1970s. Jeffrey Dahmer, the cannibal killer. Jeffrey Dahmer's childhood was marked by loneliness and isolation. He had difficulty making friends and often found solace in dissecting animals. His fascination with death and dissection continued into adulthood, leading to his heinous acts of murder and cannibalism. Dahmer's crimes were characterized by sexual perversions, including necrophilia and the preservation of body parts. The shocking nature of his crimes left many wondering how someone could carry out such atrocities. Despite exhaustive efforts to diagnose and treat his psychopathic tendencies, Dahmer remained unrepentant until his death in prison in 1994. His legacy serves as a chilling reminder of the depths of human depravity. Dahmer was convicted of killing 17 people. Ed Gein, the inspiration of Psycho and Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Ed Gein, also known as the Butcher of Plainfield, was a troubled individual with a disturbing fascination with death and the female anatomy. Born in 1906, he grew up in a household with an overbearing mother who instilled in him a strong sense of religious morality and disgust towards women. After his mother's death in 1945, Gein's mental state began to deteriorate, leading him to commit grave robbing and ultimately murder. His crimes shocked the nation and inspired numerous horror films, cementing his infamy for generations to come. Despite the passage of time, the gruesome details of his actions continue to captivate and terrify audiences. The case of Ed Gein serves as a chilling reminder of the darkness that can lurk within the human psyche and the horrors that can ensue if left unchecked. However, he confessed to killing only 2 women. Gein's notoriety comes more from his habit of exhuming corpses from local graveyards and using their body parts to create items such as furniture, clothing, and other household objects. John Wayne Gacy, the killer clown. John Wayne Gacy's killing spree lasted from 1972 to 1978 before he was finally caught, convicted, and executed by lethal injection in 1994. His reign of terror not only shook the town of Chicago, but the whole country, as people struggled to understand how a seemingly ordinary man could carry out such heinous crimes. Even more disturbing is the fact that Gacy got away with his crimes for years, thanks to his prominent position in the community and his ability to charm those around him. To this day, Gacy's case remains one of the most shocking and perplexing in the history of American crime. Gacy was convicted of murdering 33 young men and boys between 1972 and 1978. All of his victims were lured to his home in Cook County, Illinois, where they were sexually assaulted, tortured, and murdered. Aileen Wournos, America's first female serial killer. Aileen Wournos was born on February 29, 1956, in Rochester, Michigan. Her troubled childhood included sexual assault and abandonment by her parents. By the age of 13, she had become pregnant and gave birth to a son that was later put up for adoption. Wournos began working as a prostitute at a young age and had several run-ins with the law. However, it wasn't until 1989 that she began her killing spree, targeting men who picked her up for sex. Wournos's claims being a victim of assault and rape by her victims were met with skepticism by some, and her mental state was called into question during her trials. She was sentenced to death and executed by lethal injection on October 9, 2002. Wournos's life story remains controversial and continues to spark discussions about mental illness, abuse, and the death penalty. Wournos murdered at least 7 men between 1989 and 1990. That's all for today's video. We hope you found these stories about these serial killers intriguing. The lives of these notorious killers and their horrifying deeds will forever be etched in history. If you like this video, hit the like button. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more true crime stories. We love creating content that educates and inspires our viewers. So if you have any suggestions or requests for future videos, feel free to leave them in the comments section below. See you in our next video. Goodbye.